solemnly swear that I am up to no good. What are 31 colleges of Cambridge? Isn't it just Cambridge University? Well, these are 31 different castles where students live but don't study. Imagine these are the houses of Harry Potter, but instead of 4, we have 31. I asked students from all 31 colleges to show us around their castles. We will visit the library, the formal hall, the student rooms, and all of the other hidden places. Hi my dear friends from all over the world. So today we're here at St. John's College in Cambridge in terms of the 31 Colleges of Cambridge tour. And Nicola has kindly agreed to show us around his college. So Nicola, please tell us about this college. How would you describe it in 3 words?
Hi everybody, my name is Nicola. I'm a student here at John's, and if I had to use 3 words to, describe St. John's, it would probably be, the beauty, people, and food. As in, it's beautiful, the food's great, and there's a ton of amazing people here.
Mm-hmm. And what's your favorite memory about this college?
My favorite memory, probably climbing up the chapel tower for the first time. It's a very Harry Potter-esque experience, in my opinion. But yeah.
Could you please describe and tell us the story about this bridge behind us?
Right, so we're standing behind, in front of the Bridge of Sighs, which is kind of the staple of, St. John's. It was kind of, well, I at least think it was modeled from the actual Bridge of Sighs in Italy. You can see a lot of students punting around, and a little known fact about it is apparently a few students managed to strap a car that was hanging from the Bridge of Sighs as a prank a couple of years back, so yeah.
Do students here do a lot of pranks in general?
Well, here and there, and funny enough, it involves a lot of cars. I've heard about the Kings, where they put a car on top of their chapel, we put a car here. So yeah, there's pranks here and there, but for the most part, I think they're pretty funny. So, yeah.
So let's go and explore the college. So what are the interesting things about this castle?
So a little known fact about John's and Trinity is we're apparently big rivals, and this is noted as, so the symbol of John's is this eagle that's right on the top of the kind of door, and it's looking to the side, as in it's shunning Trinity, which is just across us.
Over there.
And then similarly, if you look at the kind of the clock tower, or this circle here, this is where our clock is supposed to be. But since Trinity put their clock first on their tower, we're not allowed to do this, which is kind of funny, but yeah. Yeah, so this thing here is pretty random, but it's for horses when you're on horseback. And so when you're turning, right, when you're turning to the right, the horse can see, the grass, so it knows to do a bit of a bigger loop. Whereas here, when a horse is turning, there's no grass, so horse would turn immediately to the left, and you can end up in the river, which is not what you want. So there's kind of a barrier here that kind of blocks the horse from immediately turning. Just kind of interesting, but yeah. Currently sitting in the backs of John's. So this is the only kind of green area where students are allowed to walk and sit and have picnics. This is kind of the biggest green area in John's, and people have picnics here, play croquet. This is kind of the biggest area where the Mayball, which is one of the super famous parties at John's, happens. And this year I think around 3,000 people came. Tickets are pretty difficult to get a hold of unless you're a student, and yeah, it was quite the spectacle this year.
And how do students usually get the tickets?
So usually there's a time window before the actual sale of the tickets. for students of John's, and they can buy with a discount. They're actually still pretty pricey, around I think £200. And then once that time window passes, then it's a free-for-all for everybody else. But students in John's can buy themselves tickets, and I think 1 or 2 guest tickets usually. But yeah, it's pretty tough to get into if you're not in John's or know somebody from John's.
Any interesting facts about the Mayball?
I don't know. Oh, right. So for John's, I'm pretty sure it was like featured in the New York Times as like one of the top 10 parties in Europe to like go to. But yeah, it was pretty nice to go to. It was my first time this year. I had a ton of fun.
Will you consider coming back?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It was. We made it to 6 in the morning, so I'm definitely coming back. I had a lot of fun.
So you had the survivors photo?
Yes, there was a survivors photo. We all, like everybody who survived the entire night, we gathered here in the backs, and there was a big crane over there, and it like lifted up a photographer, and he took like an aerial photo of us, which was pretty funny.
So what about accommodation here? Do all students live on-site or off-site?
So right now we're on campus, so this is where undergrads live. For the most part, postgrads live around St. John's, usually within 5 to 10 minutes walking distance. But this is all undergrads. So for example, I live like just on the St. John's sports fields, which is like a 5-minute walk from here.
How is your accommodation? Are you satisfied with it? Is it spacious enough?
Yeah, no, I'm really happy with it. I live in like a house with like 13 people in it. We have a beautiful, backyard. We have an actual garden, a greenhouse, and even like beehives. There's a St. John's beekeeping club that like comes and like does the upkeep, and they make their own honey. So I'm really happy. My room's pretty spacious. The only thing is the bed is pretty terrible. But for the most part, I'm really satisfied with it. So currently we're standing at the housing part of St. John's. You can see it's really pretty, but if you go through the hallway, you kind of get a big contrast. There's like very like brutalistic-esque buildings, so it's a different vibe for sure. But from what I've heard, by the way, this is all undergrad housing. From what I've heard, the rooms are pretty spacious and pretty nice. So yeah. So some undergrads live here as well. This is kind of the contrast I was talking about. The aesthetics might not be there, but from what I've heard, these are like one of the nicest rooms there are at St. John's. So there's that. So I'm standing in front of the St. John's library. It's quite a small library. It gets quite busy at peak times, especially exam season. Both undergrads and grad students do their work here, and yeah, that's the library. That's the guy. Yeah, Samuel Butler.
What's he famous for?
I have no idea. But I think he was a poet or something. I'm not sure. I am supposed to know, but I don't.
Mischief managed. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the tour. Watch other 30 colleges tour on my channel. And in the end, you will have a bonus tour around a hidden college of Cambridge.